Good evening.
Good.
Right, so it's impossible to be objective about this particular episode in any way, shape or form because it's the only Doctor Who episode I've fallen asleep in twice before having completed watching it, because it was the episode that came out, but I think 2 days after my first child was born, which is a very traumatic time in life, more so for Madam. And it was a very odd episode to drop at that time for obvious reasons, being Amy's choice. So a scattergun approach to this one. I'm getting massive black and white Doctor Who vibes from this rewatch of Matt Smith's era. And that's a really strange thing to say because we have an intensely modern now pair of companions, in so much as we've got, an overt sexual, developing, loving relationship between these two people that is complicated and very real and lovely. And we've also got a Doctor who... I mean, Matt Smith's covering so many bases here. It's absolutely brilliant. I almost feel with Smith, his Doctor kind of just forgets how to do the sort of social niceties things that Tennant just had down off pat, because it's almost like his Doctor's given his mind a rest at those points and just ambling through. And this is why it's so important he has companions that he trusts, because they sort of just guide him through all this nonsense. And I love the fact that Rory's rocked up, and already Rory feels like a proper part of the team, and he's giving it back to the Doctor as well, and there's a tension between the three of them. And I'm not saying it's a tension similar to the whole tension of Ian and Barbara and Susan. That's not the case, but this isn't your archetypal now Doctor and a girl travelling around. There's something different and fresh about this, and I really, really appreciate this. And in the episode, it's called Amy's Choice. It's Amy who has to make a call. Is it the choice between the two men? Is it choice in the dreams? It doesn't matter. She's given the emphasis and the importance here. Toby Jones, one of the great not returners in Doctor Who history. Toby Jones is obviously a
He opens a post office.
yeah, is a supreme actor, capable of virtually anything. I mean, that guy is just unbelievable.
Is he, or does he just have a funny face?
No. You think about him in The Detectorists, which we watched a couple of episodes of. You think about him in Doobie What's It Fights the Post Office, or whatever that one was called. And we've seen him in a few films, and he just is able to pitch what he's doing spectacularly well. And when you realise at the end of this story, if you didn't realise along the route, that it's a sort of mirror image of the Doctor, rendering this an exceptionally important character, I think that Toby Jones has pitched it brilliantly well. What a contrast to Smith. And of course, when he's there in the bow tie, whatever else like that, I mean, it's fairly writ large, isn't it? But I just think what he brings to this, he pulls the strands together, being the sort of dark mirror image of the Doctor, all the jokes, that bit about, we've got to use these butchers, otherwise they'll disappear and stuff like that. All very Matt Smithy type lines, absolutely brilliant. I don't know the writer of this one. Simon Nye, is it? I don't know if he's done anything else. But the structure of this and the sort of the tone of it is very Moffatian. So I'm going to make I'm going to make my apologies to Simon Nye now, because I'm going to talk about this in the general shape of Moffat stories, of which we've had many, apart from Victory of the Daleks, which is a very gutty story. This feels very Moffatian. So here's what I'm going to say about that. Here's the pro. The pro is, I just think this is proper, brilliant, advanced Doctor Who. I made reference to... I think this is... It reminds me of Edge of Destruction, this. Weirdly. That sort of trapped in the TARDIS, in trouble, but it's Edge of Destruction on acid, isn't it, clearly? We've got the whole Ledworth thing and the ponytail and we're giving birth every 2 minutes. And then a companion death. I do... When I was watching it, thinking, oh my gosh, how long has it been since I've seen Edge of Destruction? And will I ever watch it again? Of course I'll watch it again. We can do the Whoathon back round again as soon as we finish. Of course we are, aren't we, Liv?
Yeah, absolutely. No way.
So there's whole structures and things sitting on each other, and one world sort of seemingly unrelated but completely related to another. All of these are fairly Moffat tropes now. This is not too dissimilar to Silence in the Library, Forest of the Dead, the second episode, all that kind of thing happening. But here's my point, right? Let put a cap on this. Flipping love Amy's Choice for personal reasons, for just reasons. I think it's a great story of episode of Doctor Who, and I think our regulars are supreme. I think Toby Jones is excellent. I think the whole Ledworth thing is brilliant, and the threat within the TARD is highly unusual. So don't think I'm downplaying this, but and this cropped up in my reading of About Time. Are we getting too clever for the Saturday tea time audience?
No.
You don't think so?
Not with that, no.
You don't think so?
In what sense? Explain yourself.
So compare this to RTD. RTD, you get big set pieces, right? And you get big, very, very clearly drawn emotions, and you get Murray Gold's music soaring in to tell you how to feel.
And chinks, unpredictability.
Hey!
I'm just saying.
What are the most popular programmes on TV?
I don't care about what's
Call the Midwife. Yeah, but what I'm saying, I'm not talking about you and me. We've watched every episode of Doctor Who. I'm talking about those people who on a Saturday night just go, oh, what shall we flick on? Oh, there's loads of Daleks and Cybermen fighting each other. Isn't that lovely?
I don't know these people.
Yeah, no, we don't, because we are liberal, hippie, lentil-eating, dreadful people.
I'm not. Don't feel like lentils. That's true.
But I do worry. Well, I don't worry, because I know what's coming. I know the span of things, but I
You
think...
want to dumb it down?
I don't want you to dumb it down for
That's what
me.
I'm saying.
I don't want to... I'm not saying that. I don't want to put
You want
words in my
something
mouth.
to dumb itself down.
No! What I'm saying
You
is...
think other people are not as clever as you, which they're not. But you're not allowed to say that.
I'm not allowed to say that. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is this is getting complicated. Even the sort of like stuff that links the episodes together, of which we didn't get a crack in this one, did we? But we might have had. But even that, think about the end of Time of Angels, or whatever the second one was called.
You did get a crack because Amy was going to have a baby.
Lol. But the fact that a massive part of that story requires you to have gained an understanding of what that crack is from the first... I just wonder, is this where the general audience starts to go, okay. And do we then adopt a sort of different audience? Do we then get that sort of cool... I'm going to say something I regret now. But when did the hip, Buffy watching, but 20 years on, teenage girls start watching Doctor Who? Was it Tennant or was it Smith?
Have they started watching it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think that Doctor Who appeals to geeky boys.
Well, hold on. No, I think there's many a young lady that likes Doctor Who these
Well, I don't know
days.
what young lady's like.
That's a very
I'm
fair
an old
point.
lady.
Winnie loves this stuff. I think she loves this stuff more than
She loves
Tennant.
things she loves it.
Oh, no, shut up. Anyway, I'm wittering now. Look, I love Amy's Choice very, very much, but for the not we's who made that reference before, is this getting a bit...
I don't think it's that clever because it's like, I'm sure there must be millions if you researched of sci-fi type stories.
But
that
how many
if you
people...
live in this world, it's Matrix.
But how many people watch those things?
Everyone watched the Matrix.
Doctor Who
And
is a Saturday evening...
Where you watch the Goodman show. What was it called?
The Truman Show.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think that's Doctor Who's core audience. Doctor Who's core audience is the people who will quite happily then watch Call the Midwife.
No,
It is.
No, it isn't.
It is. It is the sort of people
my
who would
gosh,
watch
it
Top
is
of the
not.
Pops. Yes, it is.
No, I would happily watch Doctor Who because I think sci-fi is interesting. I'm not going to watch, as Winnie called it, people fishing around in vaginas.
Okay, there we go. That's a place to end it, isn't it? Fair enough. Farewell. Yes? Farewell.